Disclaimer.
History is not safe for work, and neither is HistoricHole.
This podcast is uncensored and contains explicit language.
Welcome to HistoricHole. My name is David, and as always, I am joined by Jason and Michael.
Hello.
Hello. And we here at HistoricHole, sometimes we take a funny look at history. Sometimes it's not funny. Sometimes we spend more time on things that we shouldn't and less time on things we should. For instance, another part two.
Yes, another part two. We will be concluding Albert Einstein. I do believe we ended with him visiting America
That's what we believe.
last episode, and he had a very high view of Americans.
Yeah, and he was about to embark on a world tour, a whirlwind adventure.
Yeah, because after he gets back to Germany, he becomes a part of the International Committee on Intellectual Cooperation, which was
A mouthful.
a part of.
That's all it was. It was useless.
It was a part of the League of Nations,
Useless.
which was stationed in Switzerland, Geneva.
Useless.
Useless.
But
Well, not the women.
It was created to promote international exchange between scientists, researchers, teachers, artists, and intellectuals, all of which Einstein kind of was.
So it was like Burning Man.
For nerds.
But instead, apparently ushered in an era of fascism across Europe.
Whoops. Well, hey. Burning Man might do the same thing.
Law of unintended consequences.
But as David said, he did go on a world tour, starting in the Far East. He went to Asia, visited Singapore, Ceylon, and Japan, where he was
What are
just
you saying?
was just giving lectures. I'm sure they had translators.
That must have been hard to translate. It's like, what are you saying? Black, all these things, metaphysical.
Magnetical?
Yeah, it's like we gotta admit that word in Mandarin.
Did this have a name? Was it the Einstein World Tour 1925 or something?
It's
22.
2018.
Oh, it's the 22 tour? Okay.
1922 tour, yeah.
Just Einstein 22.
He hadn't released his
He has,
new album yet.
he has groupies following around everywhere.
Of course. I mean, he's an intellectual rock star.
It's a world tour. You have to have groupies, at least one.
Anywho, after he was
No, you aren't.
done with some lectures in Japan, he actually visited the emperor and empress at the imperial palace, where thousands of people gathered to watch.
Just watch him meet.
Yeah. Shake hands,
Shake hands, yeah. I mean, shit.
talk
Like-
about the universe.
There's nothing else to do.
Like, everyone's just cheering at every little thing. Like, if they shake hands, everyone just like bursts out into cheers, like a full on like a baseball game or something. Like someone just hit a fucking home run.
You're like the one guy about boo. Starts banging a trash can. Sorry. Fuck the Astros.
But while he was on his
It's like Howie Kendrick hitting that grand slam in the
Grand slam,
bottom of
it's
the
just like,
ninth.
yeah, that's right.
Or it was the 10th, right? Extra innings, I think. I can't remember. Whatever. Who cares?
I do.
while he was on his trip in the Far East, he was actually awarded the 1922 Nobel Prize for Science, but he wasn't there
Give
to
him the
get it.
Peace Prize.
No. And as we discussed also in the first episode, any monetary gain he received from that prize went to his ex-wife.
Yeah. Because he's a cousin fucker.
Yeah. Melinda Einstein. Sorry. Too soon. Sorry, Bill.
He also visited Palestine for 12 days,
Might as well.
where it was his only visit there, and he was quite happy.
Yeah. It's 12 days is all you get.
And
I mean, he's a Jew.
they were so excited to see him, they actually had a cannon salute when he arrived.
Might have been the wrong thing. Way to salute him. He came here like,
Well, he actually wasn't a cannon salute. There was an open conflict happening.
And it was weird, too, because he was a pacifist, so I don't know how he felt about cannons.
Yeah, exactly.
And keep in mind, though, at the time, Israel wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, not into the 40s. So he's getting dropped in, Chinook helicopter that didn't exist either yet, and it's like, this is the peace salute to you. It's like, you got to keep your head down, put this helmet on.
This is a very peaceful area.
In a speech he gave, he expressed happiness that the Jewish people were beginning to be recognized as a force in the world.
Yep, we gave him nukes.
Oh, boy. And were they recognized?
That's why he made the atomic bombs. the
Elders of
Israelis.
Zion. Jesus Christ.
And thus we have a great basketball player.
No, no.
Do you deserve to die for that one?
Pelicans fucking
I
suck.
shot
Yeah,
myself.
shoot him.
I shot myself.
Shoot him.
Shoot me. All right.
Pelicans
too
are
late, too
trash.
late.
I didn't catch it.
That's why I shot myself.
Fucking Zion
Check the tape.
Williamson.
Yeah.
Oh, duh. Cut that out.
Christ.
He also visited Spain for 2 weeks in 1923, where he received a diploma. So he's just running around the world, just
He's not like earning that. He's just receiving them.
Exactly. I'm like, it's just like, it's all the ladies going like, please take the diploma.
just diplomas being thrown at him.
If I must.
Why did he sound like that?
Because he's Albert Einstein.
And
He sounds like this.
And he became a member of the Spanish Academy of Sciences. So I'm surprised they didn't offer him a citizenship.
Did he speak
also.
Spanish too? Did he speak like every language because he's just a fucking genius? He's fucking Einstein.
No, he probably didn't.
Didn't he speak multiple languages?
He probably hated it.
All I know is Swiss, German, which would be a deviation of German.
So he's-
American.
Yeah.
Well, English.
American. Oh.
Well, he spoke English and American.
Caveman. Sorry, he forgets that. Like, we did not invent the language, but we made it better. Check the tape.
You listen now.
Well, actually, no. We took it, and then the British turned into pretentious assholes. Apparently, that's according to Jason.
Yes. And Jason fact.
That's a new segment we need to have. Jason facts.
So he's a citizen. He's a Swiss citizen.
A citizen.
Oh my god.
I think he's got some Austrian citizenship and German citizenship going on right now. So he's a man of the world. In 1925, he helped to establish the Hebrew University of Jerusalem.
World Tour 1925. Yeah, it's Jerusalem.
Yeah.
That's when he started. He felt comfortable enough. He's like, everyone likes my stuff now, so let me go into what I really am feeling. It's time for the Hebrew stuff. First, it was all just like, oh yeah, space time, dark side of the moon.
He felt that
Now here we are.
he didn't like the formation of Israel to jump ahead. He thought it should just stay Palestine. But everyone still peacefully coexist because pacifist and crazy dreams of his. In 1930, he...
And this pacifist did eventually, No,
we'll get there. In December of 1930, he visited the U.S. again, but wanted to keep it more low-key this time, seeing as last time it was just...
hard to recognize a guy who looks like this.
It was just parties all around, people dragging him all over the place. So he tried to keep a low profile, but still he was getting invited to Broadway plays.
Yeah.
Just kept doing physics experiments wherever he went with all the ladies.
Yeah, I'm sure he tried real hard to keep a low profile. It's just like, oh, another ballet. Okay.
He probably
have
was sitting
to.
on the side, just be like, oh, yes.
Another social engagement where I get to meet powerful people from all over the world and make connections. Oh, if I must. Yeah.
And I assume he thought
Mr. Reluctant.
Yeah.
I'd rather toil over my equations.
Yeah, no. See, we've actually, speaking to that point, we've talked about a lot of smart men. Some might say they're
Smart
yeah,
man.
yeah. I'm like,
quotation
we're
marks.
just saying. But a lot of them, they were kind of crazy. And it's like,
Some say Einstein was retarded.
Yeah, I was like, no. I was like, Einstein, it's like, oh, he knew what he was doing. It's like, oh, yeah. He would use his smarts for sex.
That's pretty much what he did.
And that's what seems to happen. Some people literally were antisocial, I do not want to do anything.
Like Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla, that's
Hated
why he
people.
didn't even get credit for half the shit that he invented. He had a laser beam.
And it was in Einstein's first trip to America where he went to Tesla's party.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it was
That was
electric.
It was lit.
That was the 21 tour.
It was lit. It was literally on fire.
Yeah, it was literally
because
electric.
of the death ray.
Should I pull the switch? Don't do it, man. Should I pull the switch? Don't do it, man. I'm going to pull the switch. Do it. All the cows start flying through the air.
So on a 2-month working visit at the California Institute of Technology, he was, giving lectures. And at one point he said to his students, science was often inclined to do more harm than good.
No, that's for sure.
Was it like intended that way? Like I said, science is more about like all about coulda, not about shoulda.
Well, yeah, then you add the human effect.
Yeah, exactly.
I think what Einstein is getting at there is the necessity, not even the suggestion for ethical considerations.
But that's what you have to do, right? I guess. And hope that like the powers that be are
Well, I mean, look what Nazi scientists did,
not
man.
Nazis.
Oh, they'll come up later too.
Like, I think that's
I feel like HistoricHole is always flirting with Nazis.
what he's getting at.
Yeah, we're going on.
That's
a date
literally
tonight.
what he's talking about.
Yeah, pretty much. A little family tragedy in 1930 as well. His son Edward,
Oh no, not Edward.
Einstein.
he had a breakdown at
Double
age
E.
20, and he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. His mother Merrick cared for him until she died, and then he was institutionalized. Not sure if Albert ever visited him though.
Maybe Edward was actually like really
Edward.
smart. Edward was actually really smart. Because he's Einstein's son. He's just like, everyone's telling me the world around me is just made of stone and fire. There's no light or anything. I'm so smart. I'm stupid. I'm crazy. It's like, hey, maybe the sun doesn't just come from a man holding a lantern. Insane asylum. Daddy, help me. Don't worry, I'm going to make a bomb.
So, like, and to that point, like, like John Nash, the guy,
Yeah.
like A Beautiful Mind, that movie's about,
Yeah.
the famous economist, like, he was schizophrenic. So, but people think that like the schizophrenia is part of
Help
what
them. Yeah.
Fueled his
enhanced his ability to
Maybe.
do this. Who knows? I mean, but to that point, it's just
Hard
like,
to do test, yeah.
maybe, and two, like, he lived with it for years and covered it up very well. Who's to say that maybe Einstein had something similar going on, but he was able to cope with reality well enough to hide that. But that's literally what he is able to just understand and see things in a whole different way.
Well, I mean, the motherfucker thinks in music, so
Yeah, and only until recently do we have like definitions for these problems that potentially people can have like mentally,
And these are not concrete things. These are things that we
Yeah.
define. Like, these are sort of nebulous concepts that like people exhibit certain behaviors and like that are common. So it's like, we kind of put them in that category. But like, who's to say that
patterns,
their
yeah.
experiences are like the same across the board? They're not. Like, I mean, how could you even say that?
And Einstein would be the first to admit like that's not the case.
Einstein,
Smart man. Like
Smart man, that Einstein.
The fact that like he was just basically just doing math, is like I think there are these things called black
He was
holes that are just sucking in stars and stuff. It's like
Well, yeah, I mean, the core, of science is math, but like, in addition to observation.
and Einstein didn't want to marry anybody because he was on a whirlwind adventure using science.
Wasn't he married to his cousin?
yeah.
Yeah, he married his cousin.
He
bro.
married his cousin.
Well, did we get to
4
the
mo-
cousin marrying?
Well, it already happened.
Oh.
Happened in the last episode.
4 months after he divorced his wife, he married his cousin.
Guess we should have done a catch up for Michael here.
Well, no, like
Yeah, the ketchup.
the only thing I didn't remember is the cousin. The cousin.
cousin.
Good God. The cousin fucking.
And then all the other brothers.
FDR did it too.
So during the 1920s, he became very fond of socialism. Thought it was a good idea because being a pacifist, that makes sense. Everyone coming together for the common good.
It's fucking hippie.
Made some, kind remarks for Lenin, but did,
Hedges bets on that.
evolve his thinking towards is like, well, it's not the perfect government, but, they're working towards something.
It's something new.
Which those ideas led the FBI to open a book or
A book on him.
open a book on him, a file on him.
They printed out a book.
The Einstein file.
Yeah. And I'll give you the grand total of that at the end. So in 1933,
Tune in.
Something to look forward to.
he was still in America, and around that same time in his homeland of Germany,
Yeah.
the Nazis came to power, and he decided,
Power?
yeah, they came to power,
Yeah, you've heard of it.
and
When
he
you
just-
say things with like that inflection,
yeah. He decided, I don't think it would be best for us to return home.
Are you trying to tell me that every German that lived in Germany was not a Nazi?
Well, he was a German in Germany at the time. He was a German in America
This is German in Germany.
But he was actually a citizen of Switzerland.
and Austria.
So it's not exactly a clear-cut picture
And
with him.
then he had, of course, Crystal on the side. That was a stripper's name. She was beautiful and smart.
In February and March of 1933, he found out the Gestapo repeatedly raided his house. I don't know why they had to keep doing it, but yeah, they just kept raiding his house.
I guess they knew his schedule quite well.
They-
Stop raiding my house.
Well, he's overseas also, so
That's true.
they
There's his neighbors just calling him like, bro,
the Nazis are back.
the Gestapo's in your house again.
Oh, that goddamn Gestapo!
Well, tell him to leave. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's like
You
dude,
come over here.
It's the Gestapo.
You come home and tell him to leave.
They confiscated his personal boat, his sailboat,
Bastards.
and I guess
Fucking Nazis. Fascist.
that was the line because he flew back to Belgium.
Stop my boat.
So once he lands in Belgium, he goes to the German consulate and is like, I am no longer a citizen of Germany. At which point, they burn his boat and turn his cottage into a Hitler youth camp.
It's fascist.
Literally. There's no argument here. Historical.
And so,
If you want to know what fascists are really like, that would be an example.
and then they start book burning, and they go after
Fascists.
First they came for the boats. Then they came for the books.
Cottages. Oh, wait. That Einstein lived in. And then they went for the books.
They burned the boats and then they burned the books.
Yeah,
In that order.
And they burned.
They're actually ironically using the dictionary for things to burn.
Go through the list. Burn it.
girls stating,
But then they had to burn the dictionary, and then that's where they stopped.
Oh, that's the last thing. It's like, as we talked about, like many despots and emperors throughout history. It's like, oh, yeah, here you are buried. And here's the information. Kill it. Burn it. Kill yourselves. Bury yourselves. Because crazy people.
Goebbels stated that
Goebbels.
Jewish intellectualism was dead. So a lot of the book burnings
Big words.
were from Jewish intellectuals.
Goebbels.
And Einstein was a prolific writer, so he had a lot of material to burn, such as, does the inertia of a body depend upon its energy content? Question mark.
50 Shades of Grey? Question mark.
It was controversial release, but panned by critics, but loved by diehard fans.
About gravitational waves.
Oh, that was a seminal release.
Wave starter.
Really changed the whole genre.
And cosmological considerations in the general theory of relativity.
It was an experimental work. There are some personnel changes in the lineup for that release.
It's like when Terrence Howard went to, the other roadie. See you.
Or
Don Cheadle.
it was like when Roger Waters left Pink Floyd.
So he's no longer a German citizen. Can't
Pick
go
your
there.
example.
So he stays in Belgium for a little while, and then he gets invited to Britain from a British naval officer, Commander Oliver Locker Lampson.
Sounds like a British commander.
He stays in Britain for about 6 weeks, meets with Winston Churchill, and he's like, can you please help the Jewish population? And Churchill's like, hell yeah, I can. So he just starts importing
Have some scotch.
Jewish intellectuals to Britain and British allies. Is like those stupid Nazis. We're way ahead of them now.
Like you're kicking out all the smart people.
Yeah, I was like, you dumb mother. Yeah, I was like, you should have been killing them all to begin with. I was like, but you guys are at least smart enough to be like, this will be a bad luck if we kill everybody at first. They gave all the smart people like just a little bit of a chance to get out of there.
Well,
And
there's a
we're gonna kill
reason why they're smart people. It's because they could see that shit coming.
Exactly.
The smart ones did, or the dumb ones didn't leave.
Just like we here at HistoricHole, we're the dumb ones.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all about to be killed.
We'll be the last ones off the boat. We're those suckers that are stupid enough to believe in women and children first.
Let me grab it.
He's my child.
I have a child.
All the children here are mine.
But
I'm Mormon.
he decided to plant roots.
I'm God.
Decided to plant roots in America. So he traveled there
Atomic roots.
and went to the Institute for Advanced Study at Princeton in New Jersey, where he set up shop and pretty much stayed around New Jersey for the rest
I
of his
think
life.
Princeton should not be in
Jesus
New
Christ.
Jersey.
Dude, Einstein hung
New
around
J-
New Jersey.
Yeah, right. That's like it's like a
Well, it's
slap.
a hop, skip, and a jump away from New York. He gets set up in America, but then in 1935, he gets some bad news. The wife, Elsa, is diagnosed with heart and kidney problems.
Let it go.
Um,
My kidneys.
He does because she dies a year later, and he consoles
A
himself.
year later.
Yeah, 1936.
She
She
some
dies.
bad news. Well, that's some bad news. Dead. A year later.
And he consoles himself by sleeping with Margarita Konnikova.
Margarita.
Yeah, it was probably a nickname because she ended up being a Russian spy.
Wow. Good one, Einstein.
So it was like a Russian spy pretending to be like Spanish. Like, my name is Margarita. My favorite drink is tequila. And then, like, literally, it's like every time she's like, I need the vodka because I'm a Russian spy.
And she was
The
also
thing I trained to is the tequila.
married also to a Russian sculptor named Sergei Konnikov.
He sculpted weapons, bullets.
Sergey gives wife to state.
Which
Sergey, I promise you.
State promises Sergey promotion within party.
and it's a little bit ironic because Sergei is the one who creates the bronze bust of Albert Einstein for the Advanced Institute of Technology in Princeton. So I wonder if he knew prior to making it.
That must have been a fun meeting.
I have to do what now?
You're telling me I have to make bust of men who fuck my wife.
And I shall fuck him too.
So he's giving lectures around the United States. And in 1939, some lesser-known scientists come to him and be like, hey, you know all the trouble that is going on in Europe. We have a bad feeling that the Nazis might try and create atomic weapons. And Einstein's like, I never thought of that.
I've been too busy thinking about like stuff that's important.
Margarita.
Too many.
He's been wasting away like that fucking Jimmy Buffett. So that's what that song's
Yeah,
about.
exactly. Now we know.
Hidden meaning.
Not Pina Coladaville. No.
So they decide to write a letter to Franklin Delano Roosevelt saying, hey, Germany may create atomic weapons. Maybe the United States should get on that.
Frankie baby, the Krauts are making a bomb.
Yeah, at that point he's like, well, let me tell you now. Smoking his long cigar thingy jigger he always had.
A cigar holder? Or a cigarette holder?
Yeah, what is it? You know, the long thing.
Isn't
Was
that-
there a special name for it?
It's probably some fancy,
Yeah,
bougie
fancy thing.
name for it, but I call it a cigarette
Ha ha.
holder.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to drink legally in America, but let me tell you.
So it's actually because Einstein's name was on the letter that FDR took notice and
Arguments.
was like, hey, let's do something about that. And thus we have the Manhattan Project begin. Einstein asked to be a part of it, but they said no because he was German.
Yeah, we don't need any Krauts working on this. All right?
And
Get
they-
your fucking Kraut fingers off the bomb.
Yeah.
Off the material. Get away from their uranium. Einstein. He probably had it all figured out too. Probably it was like, oh, here are the blueprints. They're like, no, you fucking German Kraut, piece of shit. The racism against Germans in World War II is bar none. Yeah.
I like how they called it. Well, I mean, the Japanese racism was probably a little bit worse.
Goddamn Jerry's. He officially became a U.S. citizen in 1940.
Hell yeah.
And he expressed an appreciation for the meritocracy in American culture when compared to Europe.
Compared to Europe. Now, he's not saying it's totally meritocratic. He's saying compared to Europe, which is not at all.
And this is back when no one could vote.
See, over
Except
there,
for me.
Oh, Europe is so different than the U.S. because Europe has like
Bloodlines.
Bloodlines, old money, like that goes back fucking centuries, and like the U.S., like I mean, we're like fucking 250 years old here or whatever.
Yeah.
England's had the same queen for 1,000 years.
He recognized the right of individuals to say and think what they pleased without social barriers.
Fuck yeah.
And as a result, individuals were encouraged to be more creative, a trait that he greatly appreciated
Create more bombs.
ever since he was young.
What a fucking stupid concept.
And so, for pretty much, he decides to use his popularity a little bit to get involved in some social issues. Like
He's like Luke Bryant.
he joins the NAACP.
I want to help y'all.
Einstein joins the NAACP makes sense.
Yeah. And after
I mean, dude, this guy's got clout, man.
Yeah.
This
tell you-
motherfucker just puts his name on anything and people pay attention. It's why he's doing this.
Actually, after W.E.B. Du Bois was arrested, Einstein was like, "Hey, I'll be a character witness." The judge saw his name on the witness list, was like, "Yeah, he's good to go."
Exactly. Motherfucker has clout.
That's how a lot of people get away with a lot of things. They just write names of people that actually don't exist or potentially are dead or anything and say, hey, this person voted for you. You win.
But towards the end of his life, he thought his one big regret was putting his name on that letter to FDR because of
It created the bomb.
yeah. And we're in the 50s now, so we have the nuclear arms race with the Soviet Union, the U.S. going on. And he's just like, well, shit.
Oops.
I mean, yeah.
Law of unintended consequences.
Yeah.
It's the name of the game.
Yeah.
But he felt that it was justified because the Germans might have done it first. So
Germans.
that was the one solace he took out of the most horrendous thing he
They
ever did.
might have done it, but that's always up for debate.
They probably wouldn't have been able to with the resources at the point that we were like kind of fucking them up.
Fucking
but
wars
we
on,
don't
war
know.
on two fronts. Like Hitler was doing some ridiculous stuff.
If they had even gotten one, they would have. Oh, they would have dropped it like on a front.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Oh, to be
Yeah,
honest,
I
they
mean-
would have dropped it on Russia. They probably would have been like, the West will be more reasonable with us. They would have dropped it on fucking Moscow.
Somebody was gonna figure it out eventually.
The thing is, they all
the
knew.
thing.
Yeah, that's where they're all stealing scientists and shit. You know, I've played the Call of Duty Black Ops games. Like, this is what was happening.
Right? Like, Germany kicked the Jewish intellectuals out, and then they try to steal them back.
it's like, whoa, wait,
Yeah.
no, you were too smart.
Why'd we let you go?
Well, then you also too have the actual Nazi scientists that defect, basically
Yeah.
to
And then-
the U.S. and work for NASA. Like,
And then the fact that we were
Venezuela.
founding
Werner.
Nazi scientists exactly in South America in the 70s. Like, there were people like, you're too smart to kill, but you have to live in South America. That is fire.
Oh, that's worse than death.
Yeah, exactly. No, they probably were like,
I don't want to speak Portuguese.
give me the firing squad.
no, dude, if you got sent to Brazil. But see, none of them got sent to Brazil. They got sent to, like, the violent countries. Brazil's violent, but more beautiful as well.
Like Argentina. It's like, oh, the guy there's the president there is throwing people out of helicopter, throwing communists out of helicopter.
Yeah, communists.
Very loose.
But I'm a fascist, no!
loose definition of communist. It was basically anybody that was criticizing him.
So we come to
That's how it goes. That's the way of the world.
we come to April 17th, 1955, where Albert Einstein experiences an internal bleeding caused by
a kidney punch when he was in Mortal Kombat.
Some guy came into his dressing room after the show and started
exactly.
beating him in the
It's
stomach.
like, Albert Einstein was Harry Houdini.
Similar fate.
caused by the rupture of an abdominal aortic aneurysm.
Ooh, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, like it's actually not bad.
He refused surgery, saying, "I want to go when I want. It is tasteless to proof."
It's his dying words. Might as well get it right.
Yeah. He refused surgery, saying, "I want to go when I want. It is tasteless to prolong life artificially. I have done my share. It is time to go. I will do it elegantly."
To be fair, you are Einstein. Most people would definitely be like, no. Use all the... First of all, Einstein, you have given us most of this information. And somehow, with all your physics shit, we have found other things to keep people alive. It's okay. Yes, it might be against God's will, but we could use you for a few extra years. No. I want to go how I want, painfully, and die.
It's like, but sir, it's like a simple surgery. It
No.
won't cost anything. It won't be painless.
No.
It's like, no, I must go. It's like, but sir, like it's really
Also,
it's
wait.
entirely preventable.
All you have to do is put a Band-Aid on your arm. No!
I refuse. It's like, sir, you might not even die. Like we don't even sure.
Just unplug it.
Just
Shoot me in the head!
plunge a knife into my heart.
As you shoot me.
He died the next morning
Yeah, obviously.
at 8.
He loaded all the bullets into him. There is no chance for me to live.
He died age 76.
I mean, that's a good run. I mean, honestly.
Well, was
Especially at
working
that age.
was working up until the end. Like he fell asleep working. So
yeah. He's a workaholic. He was addicted to workaholic.
He fell asleep on the button. Israel has nukes.
one of the Princeton Hospital pathologists, Thomas Stoltz Harvey, decided against, or not against, but just didn't tell the family that he was going to confiscate Einstein's brain for research.
Oh, I bet you there's a whole thing about that we don't know about.
There's a movie about that.
Get Einstein's brain.
The brain heist.
His remains were cremated in Trenton,
Einstein's 11.
Sure they were.
New Jersey, and his ashes were scattered at an undisclosed location.
Yeah. Sure they were.
And he was no more.
Like
I like to think
Like dust
in the wind.
in the wind. And that was Albert Einstein.
You've heard of him.
That man fucked.
His
Yeah.
cousin.
And Russian spies and
He,
Berlin socialites.
a man of culture.
And Hiroshima, I guess. He didn't mean to fuck them. Sometimes we don't mean to fuck people.
He didn't work on the bomb.
Yeah, you're like Michael's like
He
totally.
wasn't allowed.
His ideas.
Michael thought we were doing Oppenheimer.
No,
this whole time.
his ideas helped them. Come on.
What's funny is too is like Oppenheimer. I mean, I guess he might. He just
He didn't
was
want
an,
it either.
He was an American with a German name,
Yeah.
so like he got to work on it, but like because like Einstein was like
Yeah.
I'm
Was
sure
German.
Einstein was like, this is exactly
That's
what I
funny.
think. And that's why Oppenheimer was like, I have seen death. Whatever the fuck he said when they first blew up the bomb, he's like, maybe I
It would be
shouldn't have
way
smoked too
cooler.
much weed with Einstein. That was actually what he first said.
Yeah, it would be way cooler if you remember the quote, but oh well, unfortunately not.
Oh, yeah, death becomes...
It's like I am death.
We're not
bringer
talking about...
of
yeah, exactly.
destruction or something.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Oh, do you remember the quote?
I don't remember the quote. I was just bullshitting.
I was
Well-
just Einstein.
I remember the quote.
Well, lay it
Oh,
on us.
well, lay it on us.
No, that was the joke because I never remember quotes.
Oh, well... give us five quotes. that I remember.
Jason burned us. Look at that. Oh,
He burned us just like how your body is burned with
Immolated
nuclear bomb
from
goes
a-
off when the atom is split.
shill stuff. Give us 5 stars on iTunes.
There's 5 cousins. The fuck? Don't actually do that.
Give us 5 intellectual papers.
Yeah, because they'll be stupid, and we'll tear them.
Email
down.
them to us at historical@gmail.com.
Oh God.
Jason, jumping way ahead.
Yeah.
And even if we're not that good, just delude yourself into thinking we're good. So you give us 5 stars, and we'll all just move on with our lives, and we can stop talking about this at the end of every episode. I'm just kidding. I'm going to say this every time. If you're listening but you like watching, we're on YouTube. Which, you know, fuck YouTube, but whatever. Follow us on social media platforms, Instagram and Twitter. Fuck them too. We post a full episode on IGTV. Fuck that as well.
Yeah, fuck.
HistoricHole TV coming soon.
You know, fuck this podcast.
Yeah, word of mouth is the best advertising that we can get. So, you know, if you like it, go tell people about it. If you don't like it, be like, this fucking thing sucks. And, like, actually actively hate on us. That would be, honestly, probably better. So do that.
Yeah.
Negativity is, like, way better than positivity.
Right? Yeah, and you know what's
All
better
my
than
other
word of
haters
mouth?
became fans.
Yeah.
We need new ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need haters. And you
And-
know what? So you know what?
It could
Get
be you.
Get a Twitter atomic bomb. You could be the Einstein of Twitter and kill us.
Or the Oppenheimer of Twitter and kill us.
Oh, no.
Because Einstein was a pacifist.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, he didn't have...
Like Jason said, you can email us at historichole@gmail.com with any business
With your
inquiries.
science dissertations.
Yeah, with that.
Maybe not what Jason said. He's a caveman. He doesn't know what a dissertation is.
If you want me to, like, if you have a poem or something you want me to read on here,
Send us like Lord of the
I'll read it.
Rings,
A
like
nice
via
haiku?
poems. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Send us the full script to Sex, Lies, and Videotape.
Give us art that is like in the form of like old like Japanese samurai or potentially whatever Germans were painting when Albert Einstein was...
Impressionism, is that what they call it? Expressionism?
Yeah, it was one
Whatever.
of those.
Build a
I think it's-
sculpture of all three
This
of
isn't
us.
art
I
history.
think it's pretty.
Give us 3 out of 5 sculptures.
Okay, so his statement of this week is, you know, if you're planning on becoming a billionaire, why even get married?
God damn, that's the realest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Life is full of holes. Enter wisely.
Bye.
It was because of Vista.